and Councillor Curley.
Okay, so we can go ahead.
That's okay. Will we move on to a roll call, Councillor Rebecca?
Yep.
Okay. Can the following members please indicate if they are present at the meeting? Provost Brennan.
Remote.
Councillor Brooks.
Present.
Councillor Curley. Councillor McCabe.
Present.
Councillor McCormick.
Remote.
Councillor Maguire. She's not here. Councillor McVeigh.
Yeah, remote.
Councillor Nelson.
Present.
Councillor Quinn.
Councillor Quinn. Present.
Councillor Rebecca.
Councillor Rebecca.
Remote. There's an echo for you there, Lindsay.
That's me. Just put it on mute now, okay?
Okay.
Are there any
Okay.
declarations of interest?
Right. Then they got apologies. We've got them substitution declaration of interest. Nobody. Okay, before we start, I'll read this letter out, as this is a standard that we're supposed to keep now if we're on video. Welcome to the meeting of Inverclyde Council Audit Committee. The meeting is being held remotely in order to comply with public health guidelines around social distancing. It will be filmed and recorded to live and subsequent broadcasting available through the council website. The council is a data controller under the General Data Protection Regulations and Data Protection Act 2018. We broadcast and record council meetings to fulfil our public task obligation to enable members of the public to observe the democratic process. Data collected during the process will be retained in accordance with the council published policies available through the council website. Members of the council are reminded that they should follow the council established meeting protocol, including around the use of the chat facility, that comments made in the chat facility are available to all participants in the meeting, which may include members of the public who have also received invites to the meeting. Just to let you know that, so we all have got to abide by that, and that's got to be for every remote meeting. Thank you. Okay. On to agenda item number 2. Andy.
Thanks, Chair. So this report sets out the progress to date on the audit plan for 21-22. There was one audit report finalised in relation to the registration process. Overall, there was a strong control environment opinion, and the action plan relating to the one green issue has now been completed. We've made some changes to the 21-22 audit plan in that the audit of residential care, children's services and the audit of learning disabilities will be deferred to the 22-23 audit plan, which will be discussed later on today's agenda. In terms of corporate fraud activity, this is set out at section 4 of the report. The NFI exercise for 2020 is nearing completion with only a small number of matches outstanding. To date, the exercise has identified around £92,000 worth of fraud and error, mainly in relation to housing benefit payments, council tax reduction scheme, creditors and the small business bonus scheme. Work is ongoing with the recheck exercise, and that's identified around £27,000 of fraud and error to date, and planning for the next full exercise will start later this year, and the recheck exercise will also be repeated in May this year. In relation to internal audit action plans, the status report is set out at Appendix 2. There were 2 actions due for completion by the 31st of December, both of which have been reported by management as completed. In addition, there were 3 actions which have been completed ahead of the deadline. These are included in section 2 of the appendix. There are currently 4 actions being progressed by officers. Happy to take any questions on the report. Thank you, Chair.
Any questions? I don't see any in the chat. Sorry. Stephen?
Yeah, well, just a question around the slippage. Obviously, there's been slippage the previous year, and there can be slippage, I understand that. But then it slips into this year, and then it slips forward. But I know we're going to discuss the audit plan for next financial year in a later report. It's just about, I suppose, how do we ensure that you complete the audit programme and we don't have further slippage next year? Is there a case or a scope for maybe additional capacity to try and complete the programme, or is it just a matter of setting the programme for next year to reflect the fact that there is slippage, etc.? It's just you obviously want to see the programme completed and not impacting year after year.
Yeah, through you, Chair. So we've had some issues in terms of finalising the 2021 audit plan, which was carried forward. And you're right, it comes from the COVID period, where the first 3 months of the financial year, the first financial year, the audit team weren't set up to work remotely. So we've basically been trying to catch up on that lost time. I'm confident with the plan for 22-23 that we will make up the additional time, and the team are working really hard to get all the field work for this year's audit programme finished and reported by the 30th of April. So that will give us enough time to start and plan next year's audit from May. Last year, for this year's audit plan, we didn't start planning some of the reviews until July, so we were a couple of months behind, but I'm confident that the team will make up that lost time as we go into the next financial year. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody else quite happy to agree note it? Okay, thank you. Next one is agenda item number 3. Andy, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. So this report sets out the status of external audit action plans at 31st of December. In relation to external audit action plans, there were no actions due for completion by the 31st of December, and there's currently 6 actions being progressed by officers. Happy to take any questions on the report. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any questions? No, okay, agree to note. It's okay. Agenda item number 4, and you're back on.
Thanks, Chair. So this report sets out the proposed annual internal audit plan for 22-23. Section 5.3 of the covering report sets out the current risk factors that have influenced the scope of the work. The plan includes a number of risk-based reviews, and there's also an allocation of time for the provision of audit advice and support for key projects and initiatives that will be taking place during the next 12 months. The plan also includes some proactive corporate fraud reviews in areas such as client account administration, catering, stock checks and placing requests, and there's also an allocation of time in this plan in relation to the National Fraud Initiative in order to complete the 2020 exercise and plan for the 2022 exercise. There's also a small contingency budget, and that can be used to undertake any advisory work that may come up in the year but is not included in the plan. Directors have been consulted on the plan, and the report recommends that members approve the plan. Happy to take any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Any questions? No, happy to agree. Okay.
And I've got a question in chat.
Sorry, I just seen it now there, Stephen. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to ask a question around staff and some helpful information in the report around staff, and it's just to get an understanding in terms of, I suppose, the stability of the team. Are we sort of got quite a stable team, or there's been turnover? Do we have any challenges retaining staff or attracting staff? Just to get a sort of bit more understanding of the team at this point in time.
Yeah, through you, Chair. So the team was restructured in 2016 and it's been stable. So the 4 posts that are within the audit plan have been within the team since 2016. So it's a very experienced and stable team. The auditors have been in post. Some of them have been in post for over 20 years within the internal audit department, so we've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge built up within both the audit and the fraud investigation team, so quite comfortable with the levels of skills, knowledge and experience within the team. Thanks.
Okay, that's helpful.
Thanks. It's nice to know, Stephen, that we've got a good team still working together. I think you've got the same worries as everybody, that we can go back, but we've got a good team in that, and thank heavens we have. We'll make continue. So thanks, Andy, and thank your team under these circumstances to do it. Okay, so quite happy to agree that as well.